Hello, I'm Miss Joy with Bonnie's Joy, and this is our second video of our 5-day Loving You course. We're going to start right in. The last video, we talked about fear and how we work through fear and how we understand and make fear our best friend because it tells us all the information we need to know. So this video is on love. It's on love. Now, love is a broad spectrum. All the way we interpret it, the way we see it, the way we feel it, it's all individualized. What I'm going to specifically talk to you today about, though, is love of self. You know, when I was younger, one thing that was really frustrating for me was that I grew up in a unstable home where speaking of love of oneself and others, and other than saying I love you occasionally, was not a practice. It just wasn't something that was normal. It wasn't something that was done on a routine basis. And when I got older, you know, I often heard from people, oh girl, you just got to love yourself. And I was like, how? What does that mean? How do you do that? What does that look like? And you know, you often think, well, I do love myself. Do you? Like, because I could say in reflection to when I was younger, I didn't love myself. I didn't even know what that looked like or how to do that or how like I had no clue. And I felt extremely frustrated because oftentimes when I ask people, okay, what do I do? What does that look like? How is that? How do you love yourself? I didn't get the answers I wanted. Most of the time it was, I don't know, or you just gotta forgive. You just move on. They were so flat and very underwhelming. They didn't really tell me anything. And it took a lot of journey. It took a long on my journey to discover what that means. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you my personal opinion about what it means to love yourself and some actions on that. And so speaking of action, as I said in our introduction, you will need a pen and paper. Yesterday had homework, investments, actions of writing down your list of things you fear. And then, you know, there's more about that. So right now we're going to take a minute and I'm going to do it with you. And we're going to write a list of everything you love. That's it. That's what you're going to do. You practiced a little bit in the fear part. So now we're going to write a list of everything we love. Okay. So we're going to do this for 1 minute and go. I really love making lists. I think that when you make lists, you really think more about what you're doing and the process of it. I don't spell very well, and that's okay. But I love the physical action of writing things down. I remember them more, and I have more thought into it than if I just think it in my head. So it's been about a minute. That wasn't very long at all. Obviously, after this video, I'm going to want you to write more. I want you to write more of a list. I want you to write a full page. Now, it may be challenging for you to write a full page of things that you love. And that's okay. This, again, just like with fear, is something that you work on long term, something that you go back to over and over and over again, and you write it over and over and over again. Now, for the purpose of this video, I shortened it, and I'm going to share with you what I wrote on my list, okay? And this is something that I want you to think about. in retrospective of how you view your life and what you think is most valuable, right? Oftentimes when we write lists, we write them in priority. So first priority, second priority, third priority, etc., etc. So in my list, which was very short, and of course we're in a video, so this is backwards, so I'm going to read it to you. So I love myself. I love my partner. I love my children. I love my grandchildren. I love my pets. That is as far as I've gotten. Now, I've done these lists before where I've gotten really deep into it, where I was like, I love my smile. I love pinwheels. I love the sun on my face. I mean, you can go on and on and on of all the things that you love. And the thing that I want you to focus on your list is, when you're doing your list, where did you place yourself? Where did you place it? Were you near the top? Were you the top? Are you all the way at the bottom? Where are you on your list? Are you not even on your list? These are things to reflect about, where you think of yourself. It's almost like an example of where you place yourself in your priorities and where you think your value is, right? It took me a long time to put myself on the top of the list, and I'm really proud of all the work that I've done, and it really has been an incredible journey. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've done to encourage, to place, to believe that I'm on the top of the list, because I do believe 100% that I'm on the top of the list. I love myself first, and then I love everything else, right? So one of the things that I have learned on my journey on how to love myself is an action, right? So oftentimes, like I said previously, people tell us, oh, you just got to forgive. You just got to love yourself. You just got to accept it. And it's really challenging for me when I was younger to know what that is, to know how to do that. One thing that I learned on my journey is reframing. So we think a lot of things. Some people have inner monologues, some don't. In our mind, I have a monologue. So in my mind, I think things all day long. Words, phrases, expressions conversations are constantly going on in my mind. Most of the time, they're with myself. They're a reflection of what I think and how I feel about myself. And so when I was younger, a lot of my inner monologue was very toxic, was very mean, was very judgy, was very negative. My mind constantly told me that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't a good friend, that I wasn't capable of achieving, that, to be successful meant that my family would leave me and abandon me. And I had a really hard time with this. I constantly thought bad things about myself, and I constantly said bad things about myself, not only in my mind but out loud as well. And that was a reflection of how I felt. And I didn't have good self-esteem. I didn't have good confidence. I was easily manipulated. I did a lot of things that put me in a place of being a victim, that had a mentality of despair and depression. And it was extremely mentally exhausting. So as much energy as it puts in to put yourself down, and as much energy as it can to bring yourself up. It's the equal amount of energy. It's a matter of what you're practicing. What are you practicing? Whatever you're practicing, you'll be very, very good at it. So whatever you say in your mind, you're going to be really good at it. And also you're going to believe it. Our mind believes everything that we tell it. It's like a little computer. It's like data. It's constantly information. And all the information we say, if we repeat that information over and over and over again, we will believe it. I truly believe that it's more important what we say to ourselves than what others say to us. And when we have a low voice of ourself, it's easier to be affected by others, right? Does that make sense? I hope so. So, think about for a moment, or take this week, this day, whatever space you're in. Remember how I told you that go at your own space. Maybe you haven't reached this second video. Maybe it's been a month because you've been working on fear. Maybe it's been, 6 months. Go at your own pace. Wherever place you are in, think about how you talk to yourself, not only in your own mind, but outward as well. When you're alone, what kind of stuff do you say to yourself? When you're with your friends, because your mind doesn't know you're joking. So pay attention, give attention to how you speak about yourself when you're around others and alone. Because if you are constantly putting yourself down, if you are constantly saying bad things or negative things or dementing things, about yourself, then you believe it. Your mind believes it. Your body believes it. Everyone around you believes it. So it all starts up in here in your mind. And what I have done in my own life is reframing. So reframing is when you have a thought, for example, I'm stupid, right? I can't believe I did that. I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? This is a common thought many people have. And instead of that, you stop yourself and you say, no, I'm not stupid. I'm new and I'm learning something. I'm growing and expanding. And this is an experience that I learned that was not the best response, or that I felt that I could have responded better because I have a belief that I can do better, that it's a perfectionism, right? It's saying that you are better than what you are when you're actually perfect the way you are, and where your moment is in life is just a moment of growing, of learning, of experiencing the human existence, correct? Right. So when we say that to ourselves, when we say, I feel disappointed that I didn't deal with that situation as best as I thought I would have, right? And now I know that I'm learning from it and I'm growing. And next time that happens, I'll be more prepared to appropriately or to express myself in a way that I feel proud of it, that I'm proud of the actions and the things that I chose to do. Oftentimes when we're young, we are impulsive and we do things that we regret and have shame for. And it's just a learning opportunity, right? So those are some things that reframing is. I hope that it makes sense. Reframing is where you mentally stop yourself from thinking of a thought or belief that you no longer want to accept, right? You no longer want to accept that you're stupid, for example, because nobody's really stupid. We're just maybe uneducated, or we're unaware, or, we haven't had the training, right? We haven't had the experience. And so when we say, actually, I haven't had experience, this is something new, it changes the way you think about it, because then you're not blaming yourself and you're not putting shame on yourself and you're not sitting there dwelling in the fact that you should have done this or you could have been this or something like that. Instead, you say, you accept it. You accept that this is what happened in the moment and that this is what you want now. Right? And this type of reframing takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of effort and a conscious choice to say, I'm going to be kinder to myself. I'm going to speak to myself as if I'm speaking to a friend. I'm going to say compassionate things and give myself the love and kindness that I would show another person or that I would give to a child, right? Because a lot of this is child-based trauma. And I'm going to do that over and over and over again. I'm no longer accepting this belief that I'm not worthy, that I'm not lovable, that I'm not beautiful, that I'm not desired, that I'm not smart, that I'm not capable. I no longer accept that. I do not receive. And I'm accepting this. I am capable. I am love. I am beautiful. I am smart. I can learn. I can grow. I can expand. I am experiencing this. I am going through this as I learn, and I feel frustrated, or I feel angry, or I feel mad, or I feel sad, or I feel disappointed, because I'm wanting to do my best. It's a desire of wanting to be the best. I have a bit of a perfectionism, so this is where I'm pulling from this, right? So what I'm saying is change the way you talk about yourself inside your mind, with yourself verbally, even when you're alone or with friends, and change that story. Give yourself compassion. You did something that you aren't proud of. You did something that you didn't deal with the best. Give yourself compassion as if you were talking to a good friend, or like, say, a small child, right? Through this type of reframing, through this type of thought and process, through this type of energy and compassion for yourself, you gain confidence, you gain love, you gain acceptance, you gain the appreciation that you've always wanted. Everything that you seek in another person, you gain that in yourself. And that gives you the most powerful thing you could ever have, which is self-love, self-confidence, and all those other things in your life start eating away. And when someone who says something about you, it doesn't hurt you as much, right? It might hurt you still, but it doesn't hurt as much because you know that that is not a truth of yours. And also, here's another thing that I want to say. In all these suggestions that I have, some of them are not going to work for you. The reason why is because we all interpret life, love, our experience differently. It's all different. One thing may work for someone else and they may not work for another person. What I encourage you to do is keep putting effort into it. If you find something on social media, an idea, an exercise, an action, and it resonates with you, 100% just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Just know that if, for example, anything in this course doesn't resonate with you, it just didn't feel good, right? And you didn't get a benefit from it, there's nothing wrong with you at all. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean that you don't have this, it doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to gain confidence and self-love. It just means that that particular practice or experience is not for you. And I encourage you to keep doing it. And whatever does resonate with you, whatever gives you a sense of feeling of pride, confidence, feel goods about yourself, then do that. Do it over and over and over again. One thing that you'll find as I'm speaking in this course is that everything is long-term. Everything is months, years of doing. Nothing in this course is simple. I mean, it is simple in the fact that it's a simple action. It's not simple in the fact that it's not just a magic pill. You don't just take something and feel better. It is time, effort, energy, action of changing the way you think, which changes the way you feel, which changes the way you speak and you act. And that takes time because of core beliefs and what we've learned when we were young. It took me several years to feel confident and beautiful and love for myself because it was something that was never really taught to me and I didn't know what it looked like and I didn't know how to do it. I can say for sure that this reframing, really thinking about how I talk to myself, how I show up for myself, how I love myself, it spills in everything of my life. And it's something that over years I've discovered where I was like, oh, the reason why I didn't have my boundary or the reason why I accepted that type of behavior came down to the fact that I don't think that I'm worthy of love. I don't think I'm worthy of commitment. I don't think I'm worthy of someone to be honest with me. And it took me a long time with intention and thought and reframing that I got to a point where I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And you can leave. and that can leave, and that can go, and those beliefs can go. And I do love myself like so much. It spills over, and other people feel it too, and they feel that way as well. Because that's just how it works, right? It's like a cup that we keep pouring and pouring and pouring into, and eventually that cup just spills over. And some people say, well, what if my cup is full of dirt? What if it's full of abuse and madness and hurt and sadness? And I'm like, yes, most of our cups will have dirt in it. Most of our cups will have a bunch of crap in it. And what we do is keep pouring and keep pouring. Trust and believe, water is the most powerful force. And when you pour into yourself water, right? The power of like positive self-love water, right? Eventually that cup will get clear. Because that water will keep pouring and pouring and pouring, and it will just keep coming out, keep coming out, and keep coming out until it's clear. And that is, yes, I want the clear cup. I want clear drinking water, right? So we keep pouring. So that is your action for this course, is to write your love list, to go through the list and see where you placed yourself. Then dive deep into that. Write more about that. Why did you place yourself there? What do you think about that? How does that affect your life and your decisions that you're making? Then the second part is reframing. The second part takes a lot more effort, takes more time, and it's at first you feel like an imposter, that you're lying to yourself. With time and effort, it's not a lie. Listen, you're not lying to yourself. You're changing the way you perceive. You're changing the story to support you, to love you, to give you the confidence and support and all of that to you. That is what you are doing. You're not lying to yourself. You're changing the perspective. You're shifting, okay? And that takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. And I would start small. Start small. Whatever that voice is that says the most to you, I would start there, change the story, and then say it over and over and over again. And every time you catch yourself saying it, go, nope, we don't play that story no more. We don't play that. We're going here. We're over here now. This is what I accept. This is my truth. This is what I believe. Right? Right. Then your bonus is to look at yourself in the mirror every day before you go to bed, and look at yourself in the eye and say, I love you, and your name, whatever it is. My name's Alyssa. I love you, Alyssa. I love you, Alyssa. And with time, after you get comfortable with that, sometimes you cry. I cried for several years doing this. Once you get comfortable with that, then go to, I love you. For example, you're going to say it as if it was from someone who you really want to feel love from. For me, it was often my parents. So I would say, I love you, Alyssa, from Dad. I love you, Alyssa, from Mom. I love you, Alyssa, from Grandma. My grandmother loved me, but she did pass, and I feel comfort when I say that. I love you, Alyssa. I love you. I love you, Alyssa, from my daughter, right? And this gives me comfort, and I feel better doing this. It's a simple exercise. It can invoke a lot of emotions. And like I said in the past video, if you have emotions, allow them to come. Allow them. That's a release. And there's a wound there. And we heal it every time when we address it, acknowledge it, and allow the feelings to be. Right? Right. So those are my suggestions on things that I've discovered that have helped me in my own self-love journey. Also, as I've said before, literature, a book. This book is Free to Be Me. It's a journal. It's an active journal talking about different ways that you can understand yourself, represent yourself, be who you deep down feel, think you are. This one is an LGBTQ one, so it's a representative of anybody. This journal can be for anyone, though. You don't have to be LGBTQ. I mean, everybody's LGBTQ. Like, everybody's one identification or another, correct? So if you resonate with this, I highly encourage this type of journal that dives deep into yourself. If you don't resonate with this one, there are thousands of different types of journal just like this, where you can discover, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I, if you're really not even sure, right? This is a great way to do it, is through a journal. And then the next thing is, I'm going to reinstate it, is night reprogramming. I've been doing night reprogramming for several years now. You can find them on YouTube. Basically, they're just affirmations, thoughts, beliefs that are repeated over and over and over again at night while you sleep. This is something that I've also helped me gain love and acceptance. One of them that I listen to is that everybody likes me. When I was younger, I had a deep belief that people didn't generally like me. And now I know people like me. I feel that people like me. I accept that people like me. And it's something that's really shifted my life. And that's one of them that I listen to, is that people like me. People want to be around me. People enjoy my company. People love my energy. And it just repeats over and over again. I highly encourage that as well. And that one's easy because, you just put it on when you go to bed, right? So thank you so much for joining the second course of the 5-day Loving You. And I hope that you join me in the third one. And yeah, have a great day.